Good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani and I hope you had a great weekend. Okay, well, starting off this week, politics, and in particular, the whole case of the forgery charge reportedly against the Senate President and his deputy, as well as the former clerk of the National Assembly, as well as his deputy as well. They have reportedly been charged with forgery and conspiracy in relation to the election in 2015 of Saraki and Ekweremadu as Senate President and Deputy, respectively. So what's that all about? Because it looked like the matter went, shall we say, to the back burner, so to speak, but now it's come full force to the front. And the Senate, naturally, I imagine, is feeling a bit queasy about it. One of the papers this morning, for instance, you must have seen already, says Attorney General leads plot. That's from the point of view of the Senate. Attorney General of the Federation leads plot to jail Saraki and Ekweremadu. It's not the way, no doubt, that the authorities, the federal government, sees it. There is a charge of forgery and conspiracy that needs to be aired. Okay, to help me look at this and maybe help all of us and also take your input on this whole matter, we got Steve Adaramoye. He's a lawyer and public affairs analyst. It's been quite a while, Steve. Good to have you back.
Thank you very much.
Indeed. And Honorable Ipola Omishore, he's a former legislator in Lagos State, and he's also a keen observer of the policy. He's a staunch APC man. Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning, Nigerians.
Indeed. Let me, because he's of APC, he's also a former legislator, like his family, and it looks like there's trouble within the family. So let me just look to you first. And how do you see this whole, we have a federal government that is an APC federal government. We have the Senate President who is an APC member. Yes, the Deputy Senate President is not an APC member, but this charge, what does it say to you?
Why? I think it's a normal thing ordinarily. In as much as today, there is no immunity for Mr. Senate President and his vice, all things being equal. And when you look at the whole issue, when the foundation is wrong, you cannot put something on it and expect to see it more collapse. Where actually they started from, this issue of Senate standing rules, 2015.
That's where the whole forgery charge
started. And while you are talking about the issue of governance, the three organs of the government, the judiciary, the legislature, and the executive, all of them are very, 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 very paramount. And I just believe personally as an individual, whatever that must be done there must be based on good foundation. If the foundation is wrong, it does mean something is actually wrong with the system. And most especially in this dispensation in which we find ourselves, where impunity and corruption, they have become the greatest problem Nigeria is confronted with. And more or less, they have become part and parcel of our law. Say to say. So I really believe that anything touching on those two things, one must be fought with.
Just in case anybody flew into the country this morning and is watching this program and is wondering what this is all about, it's all about the emergence of Senator Saraki as the Senate President, as well as his deputy, Ekweremadu, against the wishes of the ruling party. Senator Saraki was not the preferred man from the point of view of the party, but he nevertheless contrived to, make himself the Senate President. The way he had explained it, it was about being proactive, it was about sleeping at the National Assembly, surprising everybody and all of that. But that's where this whole thing is coming from, that he is in there, and if his party had any say in it, he wouldn't be in there, valuable as a party man as he must be. But he was not the choice of the party. He therefore, in the eyes of the party, imposed himself not just on the party, but also on the Senate and consequently the nation. So that, I imagine, Honorable Omishore, is the crux of the matter, is it not?
I think certainly that is the crux of the matter. When you steal and you leave fingerprints, even when you have taken that property away, you are not saved.
And the way that I talked about the contriving to become Senate president, part of it was necessarily, allegedly, amending the standing rules.
Yes, I'm coming there. Actually, I mean, when you leave a fingerprint or footprint at the scene of crime, you have already, implicated yourself. Forget about the story, how you got there and all that. But the truth of the matter is that the house rule, the foundation, the gazette, the paper, the authority that makes anybody to be elected at parliament, that legitimates all actions of the parliament, was reportedly falsified. I was a member of parliament, and I know the house rule is like a Bible. It's the only thing that is superior to the house rule is the Constitution of Nigeria. It makes the house to do anything they want to do. And once you want to tamper with it, you are already creating illegality. If it is true, only the court will prove that the house rule they used in 2015 was not the one that was used in 2011, because apparently every legislative assembly has the authority and power to look at the existing rules, amend it before using it. Where you are sitting for the first time and you have not amended the old one, then it behoves on you to use the old one. So that Senate should have used the 2011 unedited, unamended house rule. So if anything,
and if that had been used, then
if that had been used, the method of voting wouldn't have been the way it went.
Okay.
And as a clever man or as a clever people, probably somebody somewhere, I've heard that somebody said it's administratively done, indirectly shifting blame on the clerk and his workers. And I know that nobody wants to go to jail. We will, a lot of story will be had.
Indeed. So it looks like we're set for. It's going to be interesting because already the Deputy Senate President has protested his innocence in this whole matter. I suppose that's as to be expected, but the innocence, if this goes ahead, if this is not sort of sorted out within the party, if this goes ahead, then it's the court that has to pronounce one's innocence or guilt. But just to help the process along, he has said, for the record, that he is innocent of all of these matters. I don't recall reading anywhere yet that Senator Saraki has, chosen to comment publicly yet.
Either comment or no comment. I think that's not what is at the burner right now. My own take on this very issue is whenever there is an allegation of when it's made against somebody, the first thing actually is to get the matter reported to the police. And the police will cause an investigation to be made into the matter. And if prima facie case is established against that very person, meaning that, there is enough evidence that this person has actually committed this offense, then the person will be charged to court. What we are trying just to do, the court is still there, ordinarily, because it is only the court that has that power, that mandate, that authority to pronounce guilt on any person. Section 36, subsection 5 of the Constitution is there the presumption of innocence. Until otherwise stated, I don't think why there should be fear about all these things. But when you are talking about forgery, conspiracy, they are known to our criminal law. So it's not actually, they are contained in the criminal code. So based on that very fact, I believe something of such nature, magnitude, irrespective, especially at this very critical, very crucial conjunction of our political existence, where we are trying just to get things right. I believe those that will be occupying important places, in our national political space, they must be very, very Spartan.
They must be seen to be above board.
Above board,
Okay, but Honorable Omishore, Are you surprised that we have arrived back at this juncture? Because I'm asking that question against the background of the notion that, it looks like, APC, in the interest of healing, harmony within the party, has let bygones be bygones, and suddenly it would appear that not so. Are you surprised at that? Many people would have thought bygones were being left to be bygones.
I think, democracy must grow. When I take you to court and you take me to court, it's part of democratic growth.
But it does show, if not ill will, at least
that
a lack of
well.
agreement. Yes, that all is not well.
That all is not well. And I'm going to tell you that Yoruba says if two brothers enter a room and they smile and smile back, they are indirectly deceiving themselves. You see, there is not enough opportunity to cover all these atrocities.
Yes.
Don't forget that Nigerians are watching even the party itself. We say a change. Change means a corrective measure. And when you want to correct everything,
it's not business as usual.
It should not be business as usual, because whether we like it or not, one of the most lacking factors of Nigeria is lack of rule of law. If I am an headmaster of a school and I'm a lawbreaker, what does my students do?
Okay,
so,
one moment, please. Sorry to interrupt you, but Mr. George from Ikeja has come on the line. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and
thank you for calling in.
the panelists.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Uncle Yori, please record the number of times I've called your program here when this case of forgery came up in the Senate. And I had made no mistake in making my views known. You can't build something on nothing. The Senate or senators have been threatening. I've been hearing all the threats since yesterday that the president is taking them for granted because they are magnanimous. I don't know where the magnanimity came from, and that they are planning to impeach the president because some officers who committed crimes are being made to face the law. Do they want to turn us to a banana republic? The legislator on the right has already explained what happens in legislative houses. They used a rule that did not exist, that was forged. If you are not guilty, go to the court and prove that you are not guilty. And now, Uncle Yori, there is a trend that is coming up. Anytime an individual in the Senate or in the Legislative Assembly commits an error, they make it to look as if it is the National Assembly that is committing that crime.
Okay.
When did the crime of a few individuals become the crime of the institution? A separation must be done. Now, if they are telling us that we are a banana republic, I, for one, will make sure I do everything possible to show them that I am not from a banana republic. It cannot be made to stand that we are in a country where lawmakers are not subjected to the laws that they are making. They are making moves to legislate immunity for themselves and to make life pension for somebody that just worked for 4 years. They want to be on life pension. Many of them are already governors who are on life pension as governors in their state. Where is the civil servant that works for only 4 years and earns life pension? There is a rule that says you have to work for a number of years before you can qualify for pension. Somebody wants to work for 4 years and be on life pension. Are they legislating for Nigeria, or they are legislating for themselves?
For their pockets.
I think it is time to decide whether we should have a Senate or not.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. George, for calling in. And it makes an important distinction, I think, that look, the National Assembly on the one hand, and then individuals on the other. So if reportedly 2, 3, 4 individuals do something, then it's not the National Assembly, and perhaps this might be just about that, to separate the issues, and as Mr. George says, so that we don't appear, as he put it, as a banana republic, where anything goes.
I am telling you, the leadership is just of the Senate. It's just trying to goad members to follow them. But in Yoruba culture, we have a drummer that drums for masquerade. And we tell him, "When yewo, bo lomogun, bo lomogun." But when the race getting tougher, He just tell you, oh, Baburutan, Iwoni, Kan, Nyoku. Saraki knows that all those that are saying, let's go. It's true. But when it gets to the, two people will not enter the dock with him. No, apart from Ekremadu, nobody will join them. I think what is happening is that they are toying with the sensibilities of Nigeria. We went a course in America, and the lecturer there told us what an honorable member means, what a district senator means. That is a liability, is a luggage on your head to make sure you look at yourself that you are a mirror of the people. And once we allow that mirror to break or get dented, you become a nobody. You are worse than a prisoner.
Indeed. All right then. Hello, Mr. Ibrahim from Ajah. Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Ibrahim Chorola, calling from Ajah.
Okay.
Yeah, Uncle Yori, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
First and foremost, I want to appreciate all your efforts, and I want to commend you on the program. You see, as the man sitting there said, you cannot build nothing on nothing. You understand? And I'm very glad that this is the government we work for, we voted for. And the man that is shouldering everything that we voted for was Mr. Buhari. The man has made his point clear that I belong to everybody and I'm a man of nobody. You understand? If people were criticizing the president that I don't know how they want this man to govern this country. Do they want him to liaise with the nonsense they have been performing right from when we have been born? And these so-called politicians, they are thieves. They are rogues. They wasted the generation of our father. They wanted to waste the generation of us. And they even planning to waste the generation of our children. If not for that, how could they? Something is happening in Niger Delta now. Niger Delta Avengers. Have you ever see them conveying? No. They will go for research then.
All right then.
And if anything affects them, maybe one of them, either Saraki, Ekremadu, you will see them complaining. Why do they need immunity? Why did the Senate president need immunity?
Yeah.
Immunity are for governors and the president.
Okay.
Did the Senate president interact with people? No. Because the decision of the president and the decision of the governor might affect property at times. That is why they give them this immunity for them to be able to carry on their legislative or on their constitutional functions. Please,
at
this
then,
point, I want you to rise up to these challenges.
All right, Ibrahim.
If there's any unconstitutional amendment on that constitution that will give Saraki is an obstacle to this government. It's an obstacle. Legislating are not helping the president.
Okay.
We have 3 tiers of government. You can see the correction the president has done in the judiciary. Now, judiciary are working. If it's still Nigeria money, we don't pay 1,000 naira to get a bail any longer. You pay the equivalent of what you have been alleged of. When you are free, you get your money back. You understand? This legislative should come to round table and support this government.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Mr. Ibrahim. I got to thank you very, very much for calling in. Apart from, just to comment on something you said, I understand the way you might feel, but you can't really say that politicians are thieves and that kind of a thing. Again, the whole principle goes back to what Mr. George said. The National Assembly is one thing, individuals are another. I suppose it works the same with politics as well. There are honorable politicians. Unfortunately, there are also a few that perhaps do not deserve the term. But you know what I mean. So we just need to be a bit cautious about the language that we use, even though it is a deeply emotional matter, because a lot of people felt that we voted for change. And almost immediately, they began to see signs of the past saying that, I no go giri say. This is not the way it's going to be. It is the way we want it to be. That is at least what it appeared like. And at the time, the presidency, the party appeared to eat humble pie in the interest of progress, but apparently just withdrew to look at the matter, keenly, and then decide what it could do to make sure that from the point of view of, no doubt, the federal government and the party, which, by the way, is being accused by the Senate, according to one of the papers this morning. There's a warning, everybody must have seen it, that party leadership, executive behind these plots are not to mistake the maturity and hand of cooperation being extended to the presidency by the legislature as a sign of weakness. Well, so they also are not rolling over and dying. So it means that this whole matter is going to, we're going to go to the battleground, aka the courts, to sort this whole matter out. What do you think about this, the sort of, is it charge or is it speculation that this could, you know, put our democracy through some sort of turbulence? Do you buy into any of that argument?
I don't buy, frankly speaking. As a stakeholder in Nigeria, I think the day when we ignore our court for compromise, I think it's bye-bye to justice, equity and good conscience. And on the whole, bye-bye to good administration.
Okay.
If some people, I think when you are talking about leadership is made of a standard stuff. People that are going to rule the people, they must be able, first and foremost, they must stand on a firm moral ground. The moment they are not they are standing on a slippery ground, we cannot have good governance. So as far as I'm concerned personally, I believe the best thing that could be done in this circumstance, one, whoever is trying to right the shape of this country through corruption, if he's found, it should be investigated, then prosecuted in the court. The court is there. It's there for everybody. At least if you are guilty of an offense, you are someone. If you are alleged of an offense, you are someone to come and defend yourself. You know, it's not conclusive.
I wonder what, by the way, and here we're being theoretical.
Yes.
Let's say this whole matter went to court. Let's say the court found in favor of the federal government and the party. What would then happen? Senator Saraki, Senator Ekweremadu would go back to the benches and just become regular senators, or it's a lot more involved than that. Do you think?
No.
But sorry, excuse me. I'm being told now that someone has called in. Good morning, Yakub from Dokwemu.
Yeah. Good morning, Sipiori.
Good morning.
And then God bless you once again. Because, Sipiori, you are doing a great work for this country. Because this is the only institution that will have opportunity to be our mind. And then keep it up. May God Almighty allow you to that. And the rest of the team.
Thank you very much.
So now we come back to the point. See, somebody called earlier, George, he has made a lot of points. But if you are ready to bust right the point, see, we should give kudos to Senator Kabiru Marafa. Because I could remember that very particular day we are watching the television live. When the issue is going on, Senator Kabiru Marafa hold two booklets. He was trying to raise the point of order in the floor of the Senate that very particular day. That this thing that you people are doing is against the law. We have two booklets in my hand. This is old one. This is the new one. This old one has not been amended. We have not been carried out amendment of this old one. Why? Where did you get this new one from? And then they shut the guy down. They even plan to remove him from the Senate that very particular day.
Yeah.
But today, I'm very, very happy. Happy in the sense that I was taught that this case is already buried and put where they normally put it before. But today, I'm very, very happy. But the only thing that's baffling my mind now is this. The question is this. These people that carry out the investigation, I believe they carried out their investigation very, very well. Because a session whereby they carry the issue to the court, the prosecution and the people that come to the court to testify, and then the people other side of the shadow beginning to raise the point of order, and they begin to tell us of such a certain thing, and then the jury. Let me say this: where is the people's society now? They should be able to plan ahead of these people because of the immunity and the last payment they are about to do.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Yakub. Appreciate your calling in. Really appreciate your calling in. The Senate says, among other things, in relation to this case, that it's surprised that this is coming up because the matter has been resolved at plenary. But as I was saying, if you want to comment on that, What does Saraki and Ekweremadu go back and join Senator Mark on the bench, or would they be in more trouble than that?
God forbid. May God save them. May it not happen. If you are convicted, sentenced to terms of imprisonment, it already derobe you of your privileges.
Okay, let me come back and we'll continue on possible consequences. Again, being theoretical because the matter hasn't even been decided at all yet. We'll just go on a quick break. Don't go anywhere, please. We'll be right back and we'll continue taking your calls. Okay, welcome back. Still with Honorable Ikuola Omishore and Barrister Steve Adaramoye. And I'd ask the question, being theoretical, if this case was resolved in favor of the federal government and the ruling party, would these gentlemen, Senator Bukola Saraki and Ekweremadu, would they just now go back to the bench, or would there be more trouble than that?
I want to really correct one thing. I don't believe this case is the case of federal government and the Senate. It's the case of a Nigerian people.
Okay.
You see, one of the problems we have with this government is that all corruption fight we think is Buhari. It's the people fighting for a progressive future. If this case goes against the accused people, automatically it derobes them. To be a member of the House, you must not be an ex-convict. You must not have criminal charges heavily hanging on you. So if it goes the other way, like imprisonment, you cannot come back to become a member of the House. So whoever is led out of the parliament, a convict, and goes to the prison, cannot even come back to be a member of the House, not to talk of being the leader of the House.
Okay. So, Steve, the honorable gentleman is emphasizing the criminal aspect of this charge.
Yes. I wholeheartedly openly endorse what the Honorable Omishore has said. This is a criminal charge against them. And if we have the trial and they are convicted, it carries certain amount of years of imprisonment. And I don't think someone can be in prison.
And still
Logically,
be a member of the National Assembly.
There are two houses.
Yes.
One in the prison, one over there. So,
I just wanted to know. But we get ahead of ourselves. The matter hasn't even come to court yet. But I just I was just curious, and I think my curiosity has been satisfied as to the nature and gravity of these charges before
very serious one. Very serious.
It does look like the SANs are in for another Christmas very shortly.
Very sure.
You know, because people have become used to.
Where there are carcass, vultures we gather them.
Well, I don't know. Luckily they're your tribe. They're your tribe. So if you call them that, I'm cool. But you understand what I mean, because there is an aspect, and Honorable Omishore, you emphasize the matter of the people. George did as well. Just about everybody who has called has emphasized that, look, you can't build something on nothing. And the something that the something that we need as a foundation is a change from what used to go before. Now, all these, I hope it's not prejudicial to use the word shenanigans that brought the principal officers to power in the National Assembly, they don't really have a place in the APC vision of a changed Nigeria, a changed society. So I suppose there's a sense in which APC as a party, even though you made the point that you did make about the people, cannot let this go. Otherwise, the whole change mantra is false.
You see, politics needs experience. When you say, I'm for everybody, I'm for nobody, it's good. It's like talking on the pulpit, like a pastor preaching. But when you come to the political terrain, you have to be very careful. The president and Nigeria, we are paying a price of I can work with anyone. It's good in civilized countries. But in Nigeria, in our political terrain, we know each other. So you can, once you give away your right, it's difficult fighting it back. That is why we are in a problem. The president had good intention, but in politics, you are dining with serpent, with scorpion, with everything, and the holy ones better be careful in treading.
Okay,
so
because the point you're making,
Yeah.
I recall that back at the time, the point was made that perhaps the way Mr. President had also handled some aspects of it
Yes.
had further given room for some of these untoward things to happen.
Political parties, they have their rule, they have their ways. You don't belong to a political party unless you want to obey the rules. So once anybody is out there to say no to your party, then the foundation that put you in that place in the parliament, in the office, is already being challenged.
Okay, well, I understand
and the Yoruba says when the house is peaceful,
Yes.
the bastard there is yet to grow.
Oh dear, some heavy-duty negative Yoruba proverbs this morning. Mazi Okoroafo, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Ayori, and our guest in the studio, Comrade Mazi Okoroafo Patrick, my name is from Arutugu here.
Thank you.
Blue Village.
Thank you very much.
Now, my question is this. The standing orders 2015 for use during the inauguration of the 8th Senate of the National Assembly of the Federal Government. My question is, why is the allegation of forgery coming down after 1 year in office of the Senate? Is this allegation not entering Nigerian democracy as one of the 8th Assembly? You see, leadership and power belongs to God, not human beings. Any power decreed in heaven will work. I'm saying this from the oracle of the Holy Spirit. So, what I'm saying that if the Nigerian government or the federal government or the Senate or anybody that says that this is happening, I think they could have done these things for long. Because coming up now, it looks somehow dicey. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Have a pleasant day in Lagos.
All right then, thank you very much for calling in.
Let me
Sure,
just
sure.
make a comment on what actually I said. I think one of the problems we have in this country is the issue of when we want to make criticism, we don't make it objectively, but we make it in bias of either religion or tribe or ethnic place or the geographical divide where we come from. And it's most unfortunate. When you say something is not good, it is condemnable. He made mention of a point that something that I have almost a year ago,
Yeah.
and now they are just coming to it. For the avoidance of doubt and for the purpose of elucidation, when you are talking of a criminal allegation, is timeless.
There's no statute of limitation.
Thousands of years, there's
Yes,
no statute
yes,
of limitation.
yes.
So, like, I think
And there
we'll
is-
be better guided along that.
And there are such things.
And apart from that,
and there is
something is very, very important in this discourse and in this political journey. Political office is equity. He that will come to it must come with clean hands. But most unfortunately, most of the people that are coming, it's a very sacred arena, quite all right. Most people that are coming, they are coming with very soiled, dirty hands. And it's most unfortunate. And it's those things actually we just have to eradicate.
Exactly.
Whatever is going to cause us, we
Indeed.
just have to do it. So when you are having moral leper, bankrupt individuals,
I know.
in places or in sacred places like that, something must be done. Otherwise, we won't get to anywhere.
And also, in relation to the comment of Mazi Okoroafo from Abia, there is a thing known as a cold case. There are cold cases, as you know, Steve was saying. They don't ever go away. They might not be soluble immediately, but they never go off the books. And if we're going to be playing by the rules,
Yes.
you know, if we're going to be playing by the rules, which perhaps we haven't done for very much in the past, it's not going away. But again,
Even
we take all sorts of comments.
The world war crimes, world war.
Exactly.
Yeah, people have been tried.
Indeed.
So it's not. I mean, I think it's like
Well,
you said.
you know,
Where I belong, my people.
it's just that when a person is affected, I suppose the issue has to be
we have
go
to be very
to court
objective.
and argue the case and let the court pronounce guilt or innocence. If you are saying that this is out of order, why would it be out of order if you're in the clear. I suppose that must be the point of view of most Nigerians. Simply go ahead and prove that they got it all wrong. That look at we now give you evidence to show that this thing didn't happen. But this whole matter about what do they mean when they said they resolved this thing at plenary? That's one of said, look, this is a matter that has been resolved at plenary. If this isn't a witch hunt, why is this coming back up? What does that mean?
We parliamentarians, we have a way of calling ourselves,
yes,
shutting the door and say, look, let bygone be bygone. But when you sin against humanity...
Sorry, I'll come back to you.
Okay.
I got an international call.
Okay.
Shedrack is calling in from Cotonou. Good morning, Shedrack.
Yeah, Mr. Jerry, good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thank you for calling in, sir. Go ahead, please.
Okay, just to chip in the contribution. The analysts and the panelists are doing such a good job. My contribution goes like this. Sometimes, if I have an issue with you, you are fighting for a way to get me, you can use any means, you can set any trap. At the end of the day, if option A didn't work, option B can work. So with what I'm saying now, it's not as if that this crime, none of them in the Senate have committed something above that. I discovered that it is as a result of Saraki being the Senate president, which the power that is ought to be that doesn't want him to be. So in this case, they are looking for a way to roll him up and down. So what I would have suggested is this: if Saraki is doing a good job in the Senate, if they can see that he's doing a good work, why can't they leave him? But if he's not doing a good work, why can't they open up to the public what their problem with Saraki is? Because for me, the way I'm seeing it, looking at it now, it looks as if there is something that they are about to settle, which they are trying to settle at all costs.
But Shedrack,
so for me,
Shedrack,
remember that
Shedrack, can you hear me, Shedrack?
Yeah.
The issue, I think, is about how the leadership of the Senate emerged. How. You know, I think it's not necessarily bad, but sometimes the process can be wrong.
Yeah, the simple truth is this. From day one, the leadership of the Senate does not emerge from the way the APC government wanted it. But since it has come to be, I would have asked them to leave it like that.
Okay, all right then, Shedrack, I got you. So again, this is the way some people must be feeling, that the thing was very bad. But since the thing has been going on now and we have a year, can we just let sleeping dogs lie? Well, apparently you can't, seems to be the decision of the federal government and the ruling party. But the Attorney General, as you said, on behalf of the people, is prosecuting this whole matter. I would dare to suggest that the whole kind of logic of, look, if you've escaped, you know, for a few months, a year, then, you know, like when you're abroad, I don't know if it still goes on. If you've managed to dodge the authorities, you know, and just mess around in England, cover yourself for 5, 6, 7 years, I don't know what the years are now. You then say, you know, I've been in this country for 7 years, I now want to apply properly to become a citizen. I wonder if that's not...
I think it's a sentiment. And try, like the learned brother said, it's the cause of this role. But we must move. All we are doing today...
I don't really understand the bit you're saying about sentiment, because...
because it's just talking...
Senator Saraki, just about everybody has their comments about how he arrived in office, and this crosses across ethnic affiliations.
People want this thing buried. That's why they said at the plenary, we have resolved.
Yes.
And I said, we parliamentarians, we have a way of shutting the door against ourselves and say, let's settle.
But
when you steal group's money, you know, one person, 40 people cannot shut the door and forgive you.
Yes, although nobody is talking about money having been stolen.
I know.
It's just an example.
What I have to say is that when you commit crime against the public,
yes,
even if you shut your door, some people elected those people to go there. They will tell him, you agree with him. No, you cannot go and agree. I think what has happened is that the court will have to do the justice.
Indeed,
The
indeed.
lawyers also, because I know they are, like I said, they are waiting. I think already Ekweremadu has gone to court trying to play the game of Saraki playing with the CCT case to prevent, to frustrate. So to the judiciary, Nigerians are watching them.
Okay, Mr. Odedei, thank you very much for holding on. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to the panelists in the house.
Good morning.
Much of what I would have loved to say, Mr. George and Mr. Yakub have really touched on them. But what I would like to add is that I don't like a situation whereby we just rationalize criminal acts in Nigeria. I don't know a crime is a crime, for God's sake. If some people have been alleged to have committed a crime, I don't know why people want them to be shielded from prosecution. Why can't they go to the court to prove their innocence? Why should we be saying that because someone belongs to my political party or somebody belongs to my tribe, he should not be allowed to face criminal acts? Whatever the case is, let them go to court and prove their innocence. And when people say that, like this National Assembly people, they want to use this as a blackmail, as a form of blackmail, that the executive should not toy with them. They shouldn't take their cooperation for weakness. I don't know what they mean by that. If they know that they have any thing against the presidency, let them go ahead and investigate and start impeachment process. If they believe they have some strong grounds to impeach the president, let them go ahead with it. We don't want. We want we want to go from the past. We want the past. We want to leave the past behind us. The era of impunity, the era of paddy, the era of do this in my favor, I will cover you on this side, is over.
Indeed.
If they know that they have good grounds to impeach the president, let them commence impeachment proceedings. So they shouldn't be telling us all sorts of stories.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Mr. Odedei. I appreciate your call. Thank you very, very much for calling. And what you just said reminds me that, indeed, there are sort of funny noises emanating from there that they're about to commence on the caper of trying to impeach the president. I don't know what that really says about the seriousness with which they are taking all of this. And there are those who probably ask, wait a minute, who does this country belong to at the end of the day? Doesn't it belong to us? Doesn't it belong to us? And if it does, aren't there rules that have been set down for us? And if that is the case, why are you lethargic to engage those rules? So these probably are the issues outside of the court. No doubt the lawyers will have a lot more concrete matters to put before the judge, and then we'll know where we are. But it would seem from people calling in that even though a year has passed, as Mr. Shedrack from Cotonou has said, even though a year has passed, people have not forgotten, and people are still very passionate about the matter, that they think a wrong was done then. I say think. It is only the court that can pronounce that a wrong was done. But they think a wrong was done. Yes, the Saraki and everybody else concerned in this whole matter are saying that this is a witch hunt, that they simply played the rules. I think you used the word cleverly, but it goes beyond that. There's a time when cleverness now sort of transcends into criminality, and that is what is going to be tested. That is, I imagine, what is going to be tested. Now, nobody should have a problem with that. That's what Mr. Odedei has just said. Let every man go and have his day in court. Why are you now looking for that immunity thing to prevent me arriving in court altogether?
Ordinarily, if someone take critical look at the way the 8th Assembly have been going on, I think majority of them that are there, they want corruption. They want the status quo to remain because they have something to hide.
Well,
when you are talking about,
I can't follow
that
you. That is just your personal opinion. Because again, Mr. George said that the National Assembly is trying to separate it from some rogue individuals, if you like.
Individuals.
Maybe you'll agree.
No, I'm not. describing them. I mean, all of them trying just to say
Okay.
all of them are rogues or that kind of stuff and of
Okay.
that one. That. But majority of the people that are in that assembly, I'm emphasizing this assembly.
Yes.
Majority of them doesn't want to support Mr. President on the issue of this corruption.
Okay.
If you look at the amendment that have been made on this CCT and CCB, you understand? Because essence of that bureau and that court is to caution, is to defeat corruption. But rather than strengthening that very organization, they have been trying just to reduce it to a toothless organization.
Okay, I hear you. So, and that is why there's a pushback now from the authorities. Thank you very much for holding on, Mr. Mohammed from Lekki.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
My greetings to the guests in the studio there.
Good morning.
See, you know, I have a lot of questions from many Nigerians over the years. Because what is happening in the country right now, everything that is happening in this country, we leave it for judiciary. And the way they are handling issue is not good.
Yes.
Look at, I don't know if the constitution that is working in China right now, if Nigeria can adopt something like that, all this nonsense will be over. Because as now, the issue of Saraki and the deputy Senate president that is on now, you see that by the time they take the case to court now, they'll go free.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say now is, if a law is going to be passed, in the sense that if you commit social crime, nothing like judiciary, you face the law, you face anything that come out of your offense. So that is, if that happens, I would truly be happy because
Thank you very much. So this whole matter about we sorted it out in plenary, you know, he's not buying it. You can't.
I was trying to talk about judiciary last time. You see, Nigerians have been taken for granted for long. And the last arbiter is the judiciary. The last hope of the common man. After judiciary, anarchy. And God forbid. Our judges should know all this injunction.
Which is what, by the way, some elements of the National Assembly are accusing the authorities of heading towards. That is anarchy if they continue with this.
Because they are pushing for anarchy. But the judges can arrest. When the legislative and executive spoil the whole thing, the judiciary straighten it. But these days, we are hearing cases of even judges being alleged to be corrupt.
So that's Mohammed's worry.
And the president himself should have started from them. A lot of them are still there on his list, on the EFCC list, untouched. A lot of them are facing challenges. But the judiciary should know that if they make Nigerians to work out, they think Abuja is far. It's not far. They will get at them there. And what they don't know is that for those who make peaceful changes impossible, makes possible changes inevitable.
Indeed.
Ghana, Rolling Stream, we pray it doesn't happen again.
Amen. We pray that was an extreme.
But they should not dare Nigerians.
It's not extreme.
They should not dare Nigerians.
It's not extreme.
Well, blood was shed is what I meant. You know, so that's what we hope we never get.
We pray.
We pray. But this is a serious matter. The pushback that we're getting from the National Assembly, be it what it is, I guess at the end of the day, Nigerians will have their way, not just say. Yes. For too long, the people have been having their say while others have their way. For once, it would appear that the authorities this time are saying that, this time the people shall have their say, and we'll see what the court thinks about giving them their way. It could also go the other way. The court might say, go, you people are, you're in the clear. But I guess we've got to wait. And right now, we've quite frankly run out of time. But it was interesting to hear that people are saying, what is the big deal about going to court and stating your case and let it be decided upon? But there are implications.
Yeah, definitely.
There are implications, and maybe that's what's scaring some people. I don't know. That was entirely speculation.
You have a clean hand.
You shouldn't have anything to fear. Okay, thank you very much, Steve Adaramoye, lawyer and public affairs analyst, and our friend, both of you are friends, Honorable Ikwola Omishore, former legislator in the Lagos State House of Assembly. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you. Tomorrow, I'll join you, God willing, for a fresh edition of this morning. I'm Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.